Hey, I don't know if it's working. I'm not even sure if it's on. It is on. I miss y'all so much. I was so afraid that I wasn't gonna be able to do this tonight, but I said I gotta get my video up because I love y'all so much, and I love this story so much, and we're on, we're on this right here. I'm trying something new, but I said I gotta get my video up. The show must go on. I don't care what I'm going through. The show must go on. Only a dedicated person knows that I am truly dedicated. I'm dedicated to every. I'm dedicated to all of y'all because I love y'all so much, and I know y'all love me. But anybody that wants to be a part of this will be a part of this. I don't go searching no more for nobody to be a part of anything. If you want to be a part of it, you're gonna take your time and you're gonna be a part of it. It's not always what other people have or what they're doing. It's it's what you contribute. Everybody has something to contribute, and um, and this is what I have to contribute. This isn't all that I have to contribute, but I have something to contribute that I feel like is gonna make a difference. So, in saying that, I'm so thankful and I'm so grateful that whoever is here that wants to be able to share this experience with me, I am truly appreciative and I'm truly thankful. I'm always thankful and grateful to you for this moment. So I'm gonna show you again on part two, our book that we're reading, and I love so much about the greatest magician ever. He gives us, he has given us this opportunity to share him and to just marvel at him. I marvel at him. He's the greatest magician ever, and I pay homage to him always. The Generalissimo, that's who I am. Because of him, I can call myself that. So let's get to our story. As we were before, like I said, we're in part two. We have finally made it to part two of our story. I am actually in office tonight, and the sheriff is here. Um, I don't know if y'all know, but I'm actually an officer. I'm an officer of the law, and some people take what I do lightly, but it's not. It's not a. It's not an easy job. I do not have an easy job, but it's a wonderful job. I love the job that I have because it always gets me into balancing out some shit. I love to balance shit out. I'm a Libra. I will balance this. I always do. So here's our picture. Here's our picture. There's our picture. And I also got a promotion, but I'll tell you about that later. Okay, so right now it says on our picture, Jacob tending the flocks of Laban. That's what he was doing. Okay, that's when you know when he came in there and well, part two. And this is was so exciting for me because remember we was gonna start reading about Moses. Okay, because that's when we start to get into to the grit of it all. So part two is now then Israel, alas Jacob, as the name perhaps now reads, was a man of many virtues and of many noble deeds, was the father of a nation who in Egypt one time dwelled, who were slaves to the Egyptians, and the yoke of bondage felt. They performed the hardest labor and they carried heavy loads. They made brick and straw and stubble, which they gathered on the roads. They had taxes imposed upon them and enforced beneath the rod. For this Pharaoh knew not Joseph, neither knew he Joseph's God. And we read that part last week. We was getting into that. So let's get into this part here. Forbidding fruit. But he feared the Hebrew children would in numbers be increased until they obtained their freedom, and from bondage he released. In his heart he planned a murder of the deepest, darkest cast, one that seldom ear was equal was equaled and will never be surpassed. And we were talking about that and how that's going on even now. And like I said before, there's nothing new under the sun. We continue doing the same things, the same things. But even in saying that we continue to do the same things, we are learning. This is a school of like fish in the water. We're learning, we're learning, we're learning how to, like I always say, balance, balance our emotions, balance our greed, balance our willingness. Sometimes they say to understand, but then the willingness not to understand and not to care to understand. In his heart, he planned a murder of the deepest, darkest cast, one that seldom ear was was equaled and would never be surpassed. And we know now that it's been surpassed. No more cruel, heartless murder e'er was known upon the earth. At that time, it wasn't. But we know now, even after this was even written, they doing this. They doing this right as we speak. They doing this. Then the one of helpless children at the moment of their birth. They doing this. They still doing this. We are told about one mother, how she planned her child to save. The most vulnerable state is women with children. And people know that. Woman with children is the most vulnerable, just vulnerable. We know what it's like to be vulnerable. A woman with children is so vulnerable. We are told about one mother, how she planned her child to save, put him in an ark of of rushes. Let him float upon the waves. You know how much trouble she'll be in. I know he killing them kids, you know what I'm saying? He was killing them anyway. But you know how much trouble a woman will be in these days if she took her child and put it in a boat, even to save it. But any other time they say, now they be killing them. But to take it, you know how, take your baby and put it in a little thing and put it in the river and pray that somebody find it. You ain't even thinking about if that little thing might go on to get a little hole in it. Be that desperate. Be that desperate. That desperate. That you gotta take your baby and put it in the water. Now when women do stuff like that, or it's always they want to say that, oh, she tried to hurt that child. She did this to that child. Don't I really women, I speak for myself. You don't have kids to beat them kids or to do something heinous to them kids or whatever. Women don't do that. We just don't. Something else was going on. But in our society today, they want to think that a woman want to go through all of that just to hurt her children, hurt her child, purposely hurt it. But that's for another day. That's for another day. Put him in an ark of rushes, let him float upon the wave. He was found by the Pharaoh's daughter down near by the riverside. When she took him from the water, we are told the baby cried. He cried, so he was okay. He survived it. He survived. But she had to put him in that water for him to survive. And we know what other kind of water they say we need to go down in and all that kind of stuff. But water is very important. Water is very important. Even when it comes to, with the stars and skies and how they do the astrological signs and stuff. We have signs that are considered the water signs. Those are Cancer, Scorpios, and our Pisces. And she called the baby Moses, treated him as her own. I can almost see him playing hide and seek around the throne. This is Moses. We own Moses. We own Moses. Moses. And when Moses grew to manhood, an Egyptian once he slew to avoid King Pharaoh's anger. Onto Midian he flew. He had to leave. He left. He killed somebody and ran off. Then he married Jethro's daughter. See them names? Jethro's daughter. We know who Jethro is. If well, I don't know where you at, but the show with Jethro. They all had these names. The names. I love names. There he married Jethro's daughter and attended Jethro's flocks, laid them back across the desert or the sand and hills and rocks, clinched the hills and crossed the valley and his rugged pathway throwed until he came to a mountain that is called the Mount of God. Here a bush with fire was burning, and from out the blaze, it's true, came the voice of angels calling, telling Moses what to do, telling him to go to Egypt and before the king appeared. Lead the people out of bondage. Moses then was filled with fear. Kill somebody. It's like when you get out of jail, you kill somebody, you get out of jail, whatever you did, you did what you did, you go pay your time. He didn't go to jail, but really basically he did because he had to leave. He had to leave his home, he had to run away, leave his home, leave his people, leave his people. Because if you read the story, this is just a little bit of, like I said, a clip note. But if you read the whole story, you know what happened and how he ended up and how he do know who he is. He know who his people are. But you got to go back. He done traveled through deserts, all kinds of stuff done happened to this man. But now he got to go back. He done survived all of that. All of that he done went through. But then God tells him to go back. Go back. I got something I need you to do. Remember I was telling y'all before, I said, anger come. I tell him to go on, get away from here. Go on, get away from me. Ain't nothing but an energy. Ain't nothing but energy, what they call energy vampires. Energy vampires. And I tell him, I said, get away from me. And he gone ahead and gone about his business because I don't. That's why when you people know a person know themselves. I don't stay angry long. That's one thing I don't do. I don't stay angry long. I don't know why. I always been like that. I can get upset or whatever, but I don't stay angry long. A lot of people do. They stay angry. They stay angry. And they get mad at you. They get mad at you. And they stay mad at you forever. But I'm not like that. But I did tell y'all about fear. Fear is some. Fear. He my stalker. He come around all the time. He always around me trying to meddle with me, messing with me all the time. He mess with me so much I don't know what to do with him. But he loved messing with me. But he did all of that. You can do all kinds of stuff. You can climb mountains and be next to starvation. No. But that fear, when you gotta do something, and that fear kick up in you, it'll paralyze you. It can literally paralyze you. When they say you be paralyzed by fear. But you done did all of that. Strong man, strong minded, strong bodied. But fear, that's a bad, what they say, that's a bad mother. Shut your mouth. Telling him to go to Egypt, and before the king appeared, lead the people out of bondage. Moses then was filled with fear. Feared his people would not trust him, not believe the word of God. Then, then his cane changed to a serpent and again changed to a rod. See all kinds of miracles. God say something. He be dropping and he be dropping. He say, I tell you to do something, you go do it, you do it. He gonna make the rest. He gonna make the rest. He gonna do the rest. You gotta trust him. Trust him. Trust him. Forbidden fruit. Then his hand became a leprous and as white as driven snow, and has healed in just a moment, that his people then might know that it was their God who sent him, and they soon did realize he had power to change the water into blood before their eyes. That's what you call power. See, people always want to have power over somebody. They want to have, I got power over this hat, power over this wallet. What it is? I even got power over this. But people want to have power over people. I always laugh at that. I say, you let a person have power over you. Them weirdos. I call them the undercover weirdos. But we'll talk about that later. Like, oh, they get, oh. Some people ain't funny. But when you really look at it, if you let somebody have power over you, I don't care what they got, what they can do. You is a undercover weirdo. Moses still remained unwilling, plead and stammering, lisping tongue, until God with him was angered. Still he unto Moses clung, and he brought to him his brother, who was gifted much in speech. And these two should go together, and assistance be to each. Okay, let y'all see that. Let y'all see my stripes now. I can't let y'all see that. But I was determined to get this up tonight. So I won't have to keep doing that. But I'm gonna read this little part and then I'm gonna come back, okay? Because I don't want the video to run that long. But I want to get on here because I love y'all. And I want us to be able to get this right. Because like I said, it's nothing new under the sun. But you know what? Some things, even though it's not new under the sun, it no longer has to be. It don't have to be that way. Because I have faith. I believe that we can get this right. We will get it right. And I'm going to say it again. Stop. Let me say that. Teach your daughters to stop being trifling. When we get that together, we'll get this work together. But I'm going to go ahead and continue. I digress on that. But I will continue to say it. It's in our hands as the woman, as the womb of this world. The womb of this world. Nothing can come forth into this world without us. We have our men's, but a lady, a woman, needs to be a lady at some point. And it's best that she start off early than late. Get it together. Get it together out here. Let me read this to you. And he brought to him his brother, who was gifted much in speech. And these two should be together, and assistants be to each. They were to perform some wonders. Hence they took along the rod. Aaron should be to Moses spokesman. Moses be to him a God. And at last they came to Pharaoh, told him how they'd been abused, asked him then to give them freedom, which King Pharaoh then refused. So instead of letting this go a long time, I'm going to go ahead and cut it off here. I'm going to go ahead and cut it off here. And when we come back, it's going to be the plagues of Egypt. We're going to come back next week and we're going to be doing the plagues of Egypt. Big Cherry loves you. I love y'all so much. You know what? I didn't think I was going to be able to get this video up today, but I was determined. I was so determined that I was going to get this video up. I was going to do what needs to be done because I know that time heals us all. Time, time will heal us all. I love you. I love you so much. Love you. Don't ever forget that. Big Cherry loves you. And I know you love Big Cherry. And I'll see y'all next week. Enjoy your week. Have a wonderful time. Because we are reading the First Mortgage. And it's a very serious read. And if you can, go back, look at the other videos. You can be able to get caught up. But I love you. Big Cherry loves you.